Welcome back to the Dad Edit podcast. This is episode 15, Nostalgia for Dads, how our past shapes the fathers we are becoming or have become. We're going back, not to stay stuck in our past, but to understand the soil which we grew from. This episode is reflection on fatherly influence in all forms, the things that our dads or father figures taught us and the things that they couldn't. What we've chosen to carry forward and what we lay down as fathers ourselves. Whether you had a dad, lost a dad, feared your dad, barely knew your dad, fatherhood leaves a mark. And now as grown men raising kids, we're leaving our marks. We want to ask, what do we pass on? What do we change? How do we build something solid when the blueprint was torn or missing? This isn't just about nostalgia. It is about legacy, chosen, earned, and rewritten. Before we talk about the dads we have to face the dads we had or didn't have. Because fatherhood doesn't start with when you became a dad. It starts with the moment someone else's shadow landed on your story. Oh. Do you guys have or I'll throw it to Jeff first, I think, a memory of your father or father figure that, lingers the longest? Is there something that stands out, moments that you spent with him? Anything like that?
So when my dad was little, he wanted to be a hockey player. He looked up to all these athletes. That was his rock star, basically. And when I was born, they had the means to put me in hockey and drive me to every single game. I was on 3 different teams at one point. Set me on trips to play and just bringing me to every single game, driving through snowstorms just to get to places. I remember listening to my music in the back of the van, hyping myself up for this game, drinking my French vanilla cappuccino just to get a little boost of energy. And it's just a whiteout blizzard outside, and those things grinding to get me to the places that he wanted for himself once upon a time.
It's interesting, as you're reflecting on that and sitting in yourself as the child in the backseat, now being a father and understanding how sometimes shitty road conditions like that could be, how no matter what, we're getting there for this kid so that he can go and play. And he gave you such a safe environment that you don't have to worry about, the car flying off the road. You're just getting hyped for the game.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, your dad or your mom's white knuckle driving, trying to get you guys to this game, probably cursing the next day at work going, you won't believe what we just did for that kid to lose that game. You know what I mean? Jokingly, but that's interesting. It's an interesting reflection. I like that. Something that I, go back to, just a memory of a stepfather that I had at the time was his dedication to always take me out to 7-Eleven to grab some 5-cent candies, fill up a little bag of them, little nickel candies, penny candies. I don't think that exists anymore.
Hello.
And then play Street Fighter on the arcade.
So he carved out that quality time for you.
Always. It was Saturday, and it was the 7-Eleven on Adelaide and Oxford. It's not even a gas station anymore. It's across from Palisade. Now it's just a vacant lot. But every time we drive by that is a nostalgic feeling for me, is remembering just wanting to play Street Fighter so bad all week when that, John, can we go play Street Fighter? I really want to go. And, eventually that just stopped. And I was I still feel that, you know what I mean? We stopped going. You've grown out of that. I think that's part of the reason why I'm a big gamer now, but I'm sure. But that's definitely a memory that lingers with me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Brian, what about you for father figures or, mom's boyfriends, uncles even?
Yeah. First memory I can really remember. So my uncles were always there. My grandfather was always there. Those were my pillars through my big part of my childhood. My mom was dad and mom. Right. But there was a point where she met a man, rest in peace, Chris. He passed away last year. He came into the home and he just brought this this energy of just wanting to, not to say be there, but to leave a print on these children that were part of his life right now. You know what I'm saying? Negative and positive. Let's look at the positive side. I remember waking up like, no joke, 4:30 in the morning when I'm like 12 years old. Chris is waking me up. Hey, come on, let's get up. Here's your tea. Let's get in the car. We have a job to go do. He owned his own renovation business. So it was a lot of structure on the discipline part of, showing up on time, putting your best foot forward, working hard for what you wanted. Bro, I'm talking about 4 o'clock in the morning to go rip a fucking barn full of shingles. Me and him doing some grown man shit at 12 years old, but having that understanding that, we had to go out there and grind to get what we wanted, right? So he really installed that work ethic in me, which everyone sees now. And that's one of the positive things that he brought. Like I said, there was some negative things, but one of the positive things he did for me was he installed that work ethic in me. I wasn't scared as I grew older to take on work. Like there was a lot of guys around me that rather do other things to make money. And I always said to myself, a real man can provide for their family through something legit, bro. So I always stuck out because, I did my thing as a child. Being an adolescent, we do stupid things. But I always had that structure to say, hey, I'm going to have a job on the side and help my mom out and stuff like that. He was in my life for a good 7 to 8 years. He was part of my adult life too, in and out. My mom and him ended up splitting up, but he kept in contact, and through my adult years, it's just like, as I grew my own family, I knew what I had to do to provide for them. And I wasn't fearful of it. I wasn't lazy, where others that I surrounded myself just didn't really get the whole working thing, and they were rather have fun and do other things to make their money. So I'm really grateful that he established my work ethic, and I was able to provide for my family the way I do now, and then transfer some of those disciplines,
For sure. It's awesome. Super cool. And I gotta say, you are hard worker. That stands out. Respect. That's 100%. When did you guys first realize that, your, let's call it a stepdad or father figure in your life, or your dad was just like one of us, like doesn't know what he's doing, just doing his best to figure it out? I know, I had that realization late, I think, probably my 20s, like mid 20s, started to realize like, shit, no one in life knows what they're doing at anything. We're just all trying to figure it out, trying to educate ourselves the best. And it helped me, reflect back on, addressing my own lack of father figures in my life.
Yeah.
Understanding that person was just human. They weren't ready. And then understanding the strict stepfather that I had, was just doing his best with how he was brought up. I was probably in my mid 20s, early 20s, I think, is when I realized that. What about you guys? When did you realize he's not a hero? He's not a villain?
Well, for me, it's like not even to say my stepdad, not even say like Chris. It was more as I was in my mid 20s. I got married pretty young, like as you guys know. So it was more like in the midst of my marriage. And it wasn't about my stepdad, it was about my real father. Because I had a lot of, he wasn't there. Everyone around me had that type of happy home, wife, husband, kids. And as I grew older and I was in the midst of my family, like marriage is a real thing. Marriage is real life. It's great. There's struggles, there's ups and downs. It's something you have to work at every fucking day. Sorry, but it's worth fighting for and working for. And through that and through my, I'll say trials, through my marriage, I came to the understanding that not everyone's built for this. And my real father maybe just couldn't, step up to the plate through the stresses of having to all that responsibility. And it just clicked to me. I'm like, okay, maybe he wasn't ready. And it kind of it gave me a sense of understanding and peace. Like in my older years, like the hatred went away. It was just like, man, he was just lifing for this guy.
It made it easier, like, you know, on that same path, it made it easier to forgive,
100%.
to offer grace, to say, but he just wasn't ready. You know, I went through my daddy issues, don't get me wrong. Like, I went through trying to find myself as a man, yada, yada, yada. But I think in that journey is realizing the same thing. Like, oh, dude just wasn't ready. Shit happens, had a kid. He said, fuck, I can't handle that. You know, whether it was how he was brought up, the things he was into, the things he was doing, things he wasn't ready to stop doing. Said, I'm out.
It's a game changer, right? Having a child,
marriage,
it's a game changer, especially when we started off young. So it's just like the reality of everything just hits hard, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, it's life, you know? Not everyone's ready to handle that.
Yeah. Everybody's just living their lives for the very first time. And you're living your life the very first time. Andy too. Everybody's just trying to figure it out as you go.
That's such an important thing that like reframes frustrating moments for me. You know, whether I have an interaction with a family member or, you know, in my own home, and I think, what the fuck is this person doing that? I think they're just trying. They're just trying to do their best. Like, who am I to judge someone's decisions? Can I help them see my side of it? For sure. Does that mean I'm right? No. But that's I know that mantra has rang through my head many times. I'll handle things at work sometimes. Like, these people, they haven't experienced this problem solving moment, this situation. So they're using their tools to best solve it the way that they know.
Yeah.
Whether that's completely wrong or not is irrelevant. This is their perspective of how this should be handled. So, you know, we have to be there to guide them or guide our family or guide ourselves. Be, you know, forgiving to ourselves that, you know, I made this mistake. This is my first time trying this. So yeah, I really like that. That's something that's really sat with me the last couple months, probably. This has just rang through my head.
Oh, and when you're in a low mood and you feel guilty about, oh, maybe I didn't handle that parenting moment the right way, then you got to take it easy on yourself and remind yourself you're also just figuring this out for the very first time as well. You know?
Oh yeah.
Being the leader of a family is a lot. If you focus on it too much, you can mess yourself up, but you can remind yourself like you're doing your best.
Grace.
As long as you're doing your best, right?
So for you, Jeff, was there a moment that you can think of where you started to realize, like, shit, my dad's just doing it for the first time?
Yeah. Later in life as well. I think it is a post-teen thing.
You got it. You're so angry as a teenager. You know, you're so stuck in growing.
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
I think the transition from my kids being little to this new era of they're their own people. I'm trying to, you know, figure out how to parent preteens. And now I remember back to how I was when I was that age. I'm like, oh man. Yeah, I feel bad about how I might have been back then, because I'm just scratching my head trying to figure out how to parent again in this new wave of this new era of parenting that I'm jumping into now. So that's when I realized, oh shit, maybe I should have gone a little easier. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel you 100%, especially on that. You know, legacy isn't DNA, right? It's decisions. It's every day. We're choosing what gets passed on and what stops with us. So let's look at some parts of our lives from our father's examples that we're honoring and some things that we're actively unlearning. If I think about behaviors, I have no reference. I have my father figure in my life. I would say something that I've had to really check and be honest with myself is I am not the father that left. And how do I know that? You know, I always struggled with like, that's in my blood. Abandonment's in my blood. I found out my biological father, he was adopted. So his family left him. He left. And it was hard for me to reconcile or like make sure that I didn't follow that same path, that cycle broke with me. And I think my mom did a great job being mom and dad and surrounding me with father figures. But, something that I can't say that I've caught myself repeating, which would be my questions to you guys, but, had to make sure that I didn't repeat definitively was this abandonment. And whether it's me leaving the household or me not being there for my partner, not being there even if I'm present in the house. So sure, I'm achieving that I haven't left, but if I've emotionally checked out, it's no different. So really making sure of that I'm not caught repeating those kind of things. Is there something that you guys have caught yourself maybe repeating from your upbringing that you want to leave behind that kind of seeps or creeps into your parenting style? Jeff, is there something that you can think of there?
I want to, well, being raised in the 90s is a little bit different than raising kids right now. And what was normal then might be frowned upon now. Being a loud father might not be the best way to go about things in this day and age. So learning how to be firm and disciplined without being loud is really tricky. So now all you can really do is lead by example and be a strong man, but quietly, and hope that they absorb that energy rather than. And I notice that kids don't listen to what I say anyway. So
So that doesn't change. Mine's 8 months. I tell him no, he doesn't give a fuck what I say.
no,
So that doesn't change that to you.
I
It's
can
good.
say something a million times and it won't sink in at all.
So I've got about 18 years of just not being listened to in my house. Honestly.
Real life.
Wait. Yeah, wait.
But this whole getting back into shape this year for me, kids have noticed that I've taken an interest in some certain like fitness goals and activities, and they kind of mimic that a little bit. So they're absorbing the energy the momentum I've got going there.
Awesome.
I'm big on cooking. My son's just an excellent cook now too. Everybody's following by example, and everything that I say just goes in one ear out the other. So a lot of leading by example, and the words don't really matter. Words of affirmation matter, but the disciplinary type thing doesn't work nowadays.
I feel that, man. Like when I look back at my stepfather figure, it was a lot of listen through intimidation. I wasn't struck as a kid by any means, but there was shouting and like posturing, and I think that had reflected in my early 20s how I dealt with my problems. But definitely that's something that like I desperately want to make sure that I don't carry on, is that leading through anger. And getting myself, it's not good for your heart, man. Get yourself that worked up over who lost the remote or why my kid wants to put his finger in the plug.
Yeah.
I don't need to get that upset.
Yeah.
Let's just remove him from the situation. Luckily, my kid being 8 months old, I can just pick him up and move him. I think it's a little less on your side as teenagers. You can't really pick them up and move. It's frowned upon, removing them in that way. You got to demonstrate in other ways. So thank God for the season I'm in.
Right.
What about you, Brian? Anything that you've caught yourself repeating from the past, from negative traits that you didn't expect to?
Oh, see, like I'm in a further point when it comes to parenting and family, and I got young adults now. But listen, man, I was born in the 80s. We were raised rough, you know, seen, not heard. So that was really big in our culture. You know, my background's Jamaican. There ain't no lip talking. There ain't no answering back. There's no opinionating. This is you do what as I say, or you're gonna feel. Do as told, or you're gonna feel. So it was rough growing up, you know. And my mom being a single, most of the time was a single parent. She had to be hard on me, you know. I'm a boy child, and she wanted to make sure that I was a good addition to society, like for real, you know. She held me high and wanted me to, you know, follow my dreams, and she wanted me to turn out like a good addition to society.
A shout out to the single moms too, because I was a big boy, and for my mom to stand up to my teenage anger, bro, I listened. She grounded me. I went to my room at 17 years old. She'd say, get upstairs, go to your room. You're done for the month.
Man, I can remember my mom coming to high school with a bat on some shit like, don't mess with my son. He's not about that. You leave Ryan alone. Stay away from that type of shit, you know? Like, live in grade 9, my mom stepping up to the older kids and just letting them know, like, he's not the one to mess with. So she was raw and uncut. But like, the big thing for me and for my wife, because she went through the same thing, more a cultural thing for her, because she's born and raised in Zimbabwe, you know, it was to give a chance for my kids to have a voice, to communicate how you're feeling, not to suppress those. Like, one thing I love about nowadays is that we're very conscious of mental health. That wasn't there back in the day. And I really feel like some of our aunts and uncles and even my mom were going through some things, you know, dealing with life. And they expressed their anger in a more aggressive way. Maybe they didn't understand what they were dealing with. A big thing for me was like when I was down and out, my mom would go outside, go get some sun, you know, but maybe I needed to, be speaking with somebody.
Be heard.
To be heard, right? So on my wife's end, it was really big with seen, not heard. Like no opinion, what we say goes. So as we formed our family, me and Anto were very conscious on both sides that these children will have a voice. We want them to be able to deal with their emotions in the right way. So we were very vocal about, okay, this is how you feel. Let's speak on it.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you react like that? Let's speak on it. Use your words. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be where you're at emotionally, but you have to learn how to use your words to get that out. So that was a big thing in our home. And as they grew into like some strong, my kids, opinionative, not disrespectful, very respectful, because I get that from everyone, teachers, church members, family, friends, and stuff like that. They're very respectful, but they're very opinionative, and they're not scared to say what's on their mind. And I'm proud of that. They're
just huge. I think from your perspective, especially in your earlier years, breaking cycles can feel like war.
Yeah.
And then defining what you're fighting for is super important, right? That you want strong, emotionally intelligent young women growing up in the world who can not only handle themselves and speak on what they need to speak about, but they are also respectful in that sense.
It's a catch-22, because like, brother, sometimes it's like, man, just do what I told you. Well, okay, I get it. Yes, I hear what you're saying, but can you just do what I told you, please? Right? So you just got to grasp yourself like, man, you molded this.
Yeah.
This is what you guys were gearing for. Like, damn, okay. Let me catch myself now. Let me use my words, right? Okay,
that's the threat, man. That's raising good, intelligent, smart kids challenges life. My coworker just said that. He said at the dinner table, his son, who's 11 years old, was arguing with his wife. And his wife said, if I want your opinion, I'll ask, but this is the way that things are. And I'm right. And the son said, I understand that that's how you feel, but that sounds like an opinion.
Come on.
Oh.
Drop the mic, baby.
And I thought, he's 11. Come on. I would have had to walk away from the table. I don't know how I would back my wife up in that situation. And she's number one, right? It was her and I first.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would handle that. But I mean, that's got to feel so, I would imagine, this is in the moment, as much as it sucks being challenged, I would walk away from that with my partner later and be like, God, we're doing a good job.
Hell yeah.
Right? I think that, we have to teach them when to challenge, but I think that's sick. I think that raising someone that is so comfortable and confident and feels safe in their environment that they can speak to challenges, that they don't feel, if I do this, Pops is going to fly off the handle or Mom's going to lose her shit or whatever the case. We need to teach them to stand on their business.
Yes.
Right?
10 toes down, man.
Amazing. Obviously, we can't rewrite our past. We can remix our legacy. How do we become the fathers our children actually need and not just the ones that we wish we had? That's something that I'm really focusing on is when I'm addressing things or getting into situations, is making sure that I'm not just trying to fix my own daddy issues. That I'm trying to be the father that I wish that I had. Like you said, in today's day and age, things are changing. We have to handle situations differently. I want to be the dad that he needs in today's day and age.
Yeah.
When your kids look at you guys in your 20s, what do you think they hope they feel? Not just remember. When you guys were both young fathers, when they look back, how do you hope they feel about the situation?
Love in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Unconditional love in the room. Even when it was discipline time, even when it was, structure time, it was delivered with love. That's what I hope they reflect on. Because that's what I was consciously pushing for.
Mm.
Yeah. Because growing up, sometimes you didn't feel the love. It felt like it was coming from a painful place, uncles, and consciously wished that that was there for me. That even though the disciplinary part was there, that they took a moment to be like, I do this because I love you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Actually being vocal about that.
Right.
Because I was very vocal about that with my kids. When I had to come home and the wife told me, oh, this one and that one. All right. It wasn't a fear of, I'm going to tell your father. They didn't have that fear, I don't think. It was just the understanding that, okay, you're stepping out of line. I'm going to let your dad know. You guys are going to have a conversation. I'm not going to have a beat up session or a yelling session.
Yeah.
We're going to have that conversation.
Dad's not coming to talk to you. You guys are going to have a talk about this. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good. What about you, Jeff? When your kids look back at your 20s, and how you were, what do you hope they feel?
Same thing. I hope they feel loved, and I hope they know I did my absolute best with what I had. Life's a game of poker, and the cards you're dealt is what you do with them is up to you. You could win the game even with shitty cards. Yeah. But hopefully they feel loved and that they know that I'm doing my best with what I got.
Yeah, fuck you. Hopefully my kid doesn't learn about my 20s because it was a maniac. But I've had him in my 30s, so we don't gotta deal with that.
Unfortunately, I got some pictures from my 20s. So my kids know I let us in my 20s, but they respect it. They love the whole process of how I was raised. These days, very 90s, 80s vibe. So she takes on to like how daddy was in his 20s, and he embraces it, and she brags about it and everything like that.
I love it. I love it. When no one's watching, I think is what defines us as good fathers.
Yeah.
Not in front of our wives, not in front of our other kids, not in front of other people. But those little moments, it's just you and them. And I know something that I do. My kid's 8 months. I don't think he really understands what I'm saying, but I tell that kid I'm proud of him.
Hell yeah. Yo, every day, bro, no matter if he understands or not, speak that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell him he's, you're brave, you're smart, you're curious, I love you every day. he doesn't get it. It's fine. But until he does, even after he does, it's my promise to him is that he will understand that. And I believe that to me is what a good father is.
Yes.
Speaking that, acting it, making sure that, it's not just my words. He trusts that's how I feel. I need to remember that in the future when he's challenging, when he's becoming his own man, is stay curious, stay questioning, be respectful, but I'm proud of you.
Yeah, man.
Every day.
I do that with my grandkids now. Like I had my grandkids, like I was telling you guys last month, I had them for a week. I was helping out my oldest, the newborn, 2.5 months. And then my second, the oldest is 2.5 years. And literally when they get in, as I'm chilling with them, the 2.5, I'm like, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're a strong woman.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm telling this to a 2.5-month-old. I'm telling this to my 2.5. This is what I did with my kids. So I know it works. Because I seen them develop, and I was consistent with saying that in every moment, positive and negative.
Well, speak it out to the universe.
Oh, brother. And that's what they've transformed to be. And that's something that I know is drilled in their head that was spoken from me. So through their times and their negative times and positive times, that will be in the back of their head, me just chanting that. When I'm here, when I'm gone, that's something that's left with them. And I feel that, bro. Keep on doing that daily. Yeah, man.
Fuck yeah. Jeff, what about you? Being a good dad, what does that mean to you? Especially when no one's watching.
Just having positive systems in place at home, routines, making sure they feel safe in their environment. This is a safe space. This is their home. This is where they can get away from the world and relax and feel comfortable and recharge and know that they're supported in any way that they need. And yeah, that I'm proud.
Yeah, oh yeah. Create less space for them, right?
That they're loved.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
Is there anything looking forward at the man that you're still trying to become? Was there anything that's in the way right now? Jeff, what about you've been on? Yeah, I think out of the three of us, arguably, you have the most momentum right now of adjustment and change. Not to discourage us and what we're doing, but you are on fire. Like, what is your aim? Who are you becoming? Fuck, what can we help you do to remove shit out of your way? Like, what's
just teaming up with you guys actually is a big motivator because I'm surrounding myself with guys that support growth. And if I stumble, I know you guys will pick me up and we'll keep running together.
Hell yeah.
I have maybe I might not be able to achieve some of the 2026 goals without the support of the brotherhood that we're building.
Yeah.
Out of fear, because I've tried to grow alone, and you can grow way faster with some people.
Brother, it is a multiplier having people in your corner. A multiplier.
If you guys tell me I'm doing great every single day and start to believe it, yeah, again, and that's gonna keep me going.
Yeah, right.
I do have a lot of motivation in this fourth quarter. I want to finish out the year strong so that I'm in a place where I believe I can. There's more. I've got more potential than what's happening right now. And this time next year, if I'm in the same place, I didn't try, because it's not hard. As long as I stick with it every day, I do something to push towards a goal. And if the kids see that growth, there's benefit in them watching me get better. They're maybe they'll absorb some of that motivation and energy and momentum, and they'll just see that if you are consistent with things and things change and happen, don't be afraid to fail. If you need to fail 99 times to succeed that one time, you'll fail fast. You'll get that. You'll just blast through those 99 times so that you can get to that 100.
There's so many lessons in those 99, 100.
And yeah, exactly. You learn way more when you fail at something.
Oh yeah.
Take some take lessons out of those.
Yeah, man.
And if you don't try, then you'll never learn.
And you're showing that to your kids through your actions, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a huge thing that you're demonstrating is regardless of where you are next year. If next year we're still doing a podcast, you're still maintaining your health, you're living a more positive life. What you've shown them is go do something. And if it's having a net positive impact, continue it. Like change. You can make changes in your life. You can take some little calculated risks. You can draw improvements just by doing little things. And like we spoke about just before you came in, the rate at which that starts to compound out. Like you just said, I'm done having a mess in my house. I am keeping it clean now. That this all starts, man, from you going to one kickboxing class a week. That's, when I went with you, we both started there. I started running. I started eating better. I started, drinking water on a more frequent basis, constantly. I want to keep a cleaner house. I want to be more organized at work. I cleaned out my office. Like that shit compounds. And then having, a community around you that's like, fuck yeah, bro, you're doing good.
Yeah.
Just those moments. Not that you guys are helping me clean my office and keep it organized at work, but just to hear, like, I share something that I'm happy about and you guys are like, fuck yeah, good job, man. It lifts you up. Like, golly, it's a multiplier, right? It compounds so quick and you're demonstrating that to your children.
Yeah.
Look at these little things that I've done and boop, 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 boop. They all start stacking.
And they see it for themselves. They see in like live TV, they see the change you did 8 months ago and they see that you stuck with it. And they're seeing like the house is cleaner, the energy's better. They see that daddy's more pleasant, daddy's more energetic, daddy has more creative ideas. They see this, so they implement the things that they see.
Absolutely.
Come on now.
Yeah. Those, you don't make big changes in one big swoop. It's those small 1% incremental gains that get you to, like it's atomic, right? Every small thing that you do that's positive will end up, you look back in 6 months and you'll be 50% further than
you're a completely different person than you were 6 months ago.
you might not notice it day to day, but if you look back to last month, how much better am I doing? 6 months ago, how much better am I doing?
Oh yeah.
And
the only person you have to compete against is the person you were. Come on now, right? The person you want to become. That's it.
And you can't speak that. They need to see that.
Come on.
Yeah.
I agree.
I spent a lot of years speaking about the things that I want to do. I want to do this. I want to go do that. It's not until this year and meeting you guys that, I kicked something off. And now there's momentum building. There's things that I want to make changes in my personal life to support what we're doing. Regardless of what the future brings, everything that we're doing is just bringing positive impact, and shit and opportunities will come our way because of what we're putting out to the universe and what's, the law of attraction, speaking to God, praying, whatever, things will come back to us tenfold.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it is a multiplier having a community.
Absolutely.
To tie into that, don't forget, guys, we do have a Discord. We're trying to launch a community, a fatherhood, a brotherhood, where you guys can build what we have right now. We aren't as active right now. It's still in the launch. There's no one in there yet. It's just us. But I want to slowly grow this. It is going to take time. I just want to see dads in there communicating, sharing. Also, if you guys have suggestions, hit us up on our Instagram at the Dad Edit Podcast for other avenues to create community. Because I'm a gamer, so Discord fits with that, and it's an open platform. But I don't know if there's other ways or methods that we can do this. We are also looking at, probably for the new year, once the weather kind of turns, running some community events.
Yes.
Maybe getting into a fatherhood walk. We're going to workshop some ideas and put it out to you guys as the listeners, to help us refine those ideas. But we really want to, if nothing else from this podcast, establish a community for folks like us who are going through it for the first time, who are experienced, who just need help, who want to feel relatable, who want that multiplier. Let us help you build that. Whether it's with us or we put you in connection with other dads that fit your personality type, whatever. Let's create a community where we can start 10x in what we're putting out.
Hammer.
Don't forget, if you guys are listening on Spotify, YouTube, anything, drop a comment, like it, subscribe, follow, whatever the case may be. It really helps put the algorithm in front of other fathers who might need our content. It's 2 clicks for you. It means the world to us. You guys follow us on Instagram and Threads at the Dad Edit Podcast, on X at the Dad Edit, on TikTok at the.dadedit.podca. A little community prompt: if you guys join the Discord, who fathered you, even if it wasn't your dad? What was the main father figure in your life? Come talk to us. Let us know. You don't have to be your father, but you also don't have to hate him to heal. Whatever your story, whatever story you came from, you get to rewrite the next chapter with intention. That's the real legacy here. This is the Dad Edit. If this podcast have a nerve, send it to a brother. Drop us a review. Let's keep rewriting fatherhood together.
Yes, sir.
We is all we got.
That's it, brother.
Thank you, guys.